The restless, tormented dead do not lie still, but rave and scream in death's garden. And there's a secret locked in the moldy coffins that causes dead men to walk again in the vault of living death. This money is to be used for the upkeep of my late friend's grave. Occasional flowers. Good Lord, it's him! What's the matter, doctor? Is something wrong? Due to a certain town's commercial growth, it became necessary to move a cemetery to the outskirts of the town. This unearthing of the dead was entrusted to 2 aged gravediggers near corpses themselves, who moved softly from stone to stone after sunset. It's best we dig after dark, friend Amos. Seeing the dead would disturb most of the living. Aye, Jonathan, prying into the privacy of the hallowed dead is not very pretty. 'Tis an easy task, though, Amos. No trouble finding these people at home. Sometimes a coffin sink a foot or two. I'd hate to look inside a box. After each nocturnal visit, more empty graves yawn cruelly like giant sharks robbed of their prey. Slow but sure, that's the way to be when you dig up a cemetery. Look, there's old Doc Matlock's vault. Busiest man I ever knowed. Bet he's sitting there right now doing some experiments. The door of the fetid tomb, unaired, unlit for 40 years, is forced open, and the air, with a gush like the sigh of a lost demon, rushes in. Jonathan, look! The coffin, it's empty! It must have been the devil himself who claimed the fleshless remains. The damp breeze echoed hollowly, mournfully, against the moist gray walls of the dank mausoleum. Then, barely audible, the crisp rustle of papers. A message. Close the door. The wind's blowing them. I'm beginning to get a strange chill in my bones, and my flesh feels as if spiders were crawling all over it. Yeah, it's Matlock. He was trying to get out. Oh God, he must have been. I can't think of it. What tale of horror had the man who sought to escape his tomb to tell? In the flickering, weird lamplight, the hunters of corpses bent over the ancient yellow pages. Slowly, their minds transcended 4 decades. Buried alive in this vault, with no hope of escape, my only ambition is to remain alive long enough to recount the evil of my last year of my life, and to give an account of my glorious and life-giving discovery. It works! We have succeeded! Now surgery can be performed without fear of shock. We have given the world the first successful anesthetic. What do you mean we? It was my discovery. You were merely my assistant. I shall take the credit. No, I shall share the honors. I have spent 10 years of my life experimenting and doing research to prove and bring to life an idea you had. However, the most important thing now is to test the discovery on a human being. You're right. The important thing is the discovery, and you shall be the guinea pig. Then we'll see who gets the acclaim. Not willing to expose an outsider to the newly discovered anesthetic, the doctors cut cards to see which of them will be the first man to succumb to the death-like powers of the mysterious vapor. I have the king. Can you top it? I'm afraid not. Are you still willing to be experimented on? I wish it had been me. The cards were stacked against you from the beginning, Dr. Russell. It works on humans. Pulse normal, respiration normal. He's beginning to come out of it. I'd better give him a larger amount. What thoughts crawled through the evil mind of Dr. Matlock and caused a ghastly smile to play about his lips? Elation? Partially. But it was also something more sinister, more horrid than even the wet, red lips of a vampire. And so, gentlemen, I pronounce my beloved colleague, Dr. Russell, dead of a rare unknown disease which he contracted while working with these animals. I am heartbroken, of course. The world has lost a great scientist. Impatient till the moist brown earth should seal those lips forever, Matlock's breast beat like the muffled oars of the ferry to the infernal regions. Oh, I hope I gave him enough of the stuff. I wish to Satan they'd hurry. What's that? Did the coffin move? No, it's just my nerves. Dr. Matlock's visibly affected by his friend's death, isn't he? In his study, Dr. Matlock's elation is dimmed by fear and conscience. Why couldn't the fool see it my way? Can he possibly get out? No. He would suffocate 3 minutes after the earth covered him. But why worry? My name alone shall be the greatest in the medical profession. Eh? What was that? No, it can't be. Don't come near me. At the sight of the rotted, festered face, Matlock's mind fell into the black, bottomless pit of unconsciousness, where he was visited by the formless, writhing fiends of hell who cried, Dr. Matlock! Dr. Matlock, what's happened? Oh, you poor man. The funeral was too much for you. Oh, Mrs. Dolan. I must have fallen asleep at my desk. I had a terrible nightmare. It's my nerves. I should get some sleep. No, I can't sleep. I might talk. A fear of sleep, mingled with the ghastly apparition, left the doctor half crazed with doubt and disbelief. Maybe it was, but I helped bury him. Wait, I have to find out. I'll dig him up. I must know. Drawn by a power, a force, which was not a conscious part of him, Dr. Matlock made his way to the graveyard, and like a ghoul in a crest of a succulent, rotting corpse, he dug feverishly. He's gone! Not even a trace of the coffin. What shall I do? Where can I hide? I must get out of here. The exertion of his digging and the previous lack of sleep caused Matlock, despite his fear, to doze for a few moments. Oh, I must have dropped off. Leave me in peace. What do you want of me? Matlock is unable to sleep, unwilling to consort with other men for fear of giving himself away. His body and features begin to twist like the gnarled fingers of a leprous witch. Perhaps I'll feel better after I shave. Maybe the nightmares will... Oh! Help! Help! Now the ghastly visage of Russell haunts him at every turn. He fears every footstep behind him, and he cringes before every human form as a slimy toad before the dripping fangs of a viper. Lack of food and rest took its toll and left him haggard and restless as a bird of carrion in a land where no one dies. Sleep! Sleep! I must get some sleep. The anesthetic! Yes! Why didn't I think of it before? Desperate, he allows the drops of forgetfulness to envelop his weary brain. Slowly, the darkness, like death, closes in. At last, Russell, you can't hurt me now. Worried about the doctor, the town dignitaries seek him out, and I'd say offhand, though I'm not a doctor, that the symptoms are the same as Dr. Russell's. Probably got it from the same animals. We had better bury him and avoid the possibility of this sickness spreading. Just think, he died trying to make the world a better place for us. Slowly, the bereaved feet of the townspeople carry the sleeping Dr. Matlock to his final resting place, to the crawling tomb, where eternity is like the ticking of a clock, slow, sure. He'd be proud to know that the people he served bought him this vault. It's the least we could do. After the short ritual, the doors were reluctantly closed and sealed forever. Then, suddenly, something stirred within the casket. Where am I? This room. It looks vaguely familiar. A coffin. Oh no, they couldn't. I'm still dreaming. Little by little, the situation took on meaning. Gradually, it hit him with the impact of a poisonous fluid running through his veins, and when the putrid venom hit his brain. Help! Help! Let me out! Don't leave me! Don't! Madly, savagely, he throws his weight against the solid door until his bones are all but crushed. The door doesn't give an inch, and his cries and pleas echo and re-echo hollowly in the dripping, chilling vault. Help! Help! Oh, let me out! Oh, I must get out! The will to live persists, but there is no longer the strength. Without food and water, mind and body would not coordinate. My body cries for food. My skin grows thin. What sustenance he could find came from the oozing walls of death itself. Water. A little water. Surrounded by death, there is a final resignation. The creeping doom, like a colony of cannibal ants, comes to remove the outer layer of flesh, leaving only bones, insensitive to pain and shock. It's no use. Can't get out. Must get things in order. Let me see. Full confession. Formula for anesthetic. No one will ever find it anyway, but I have to leave it behind me. Well, that's finished. Only one more thing left to do. Die. And in their own unhurried way, tear off the flesh and pick the bones clean. The amber rays of the lantern reached out like tentacles, drawing together the brittle scraps of paper and the crumbling heap of bones, which once enacted what the papers described. The gravediggers returned from their incredible venture into the past. It's unbelievable. Why, I used to sit on that knee, friend Amos, when there was flesh upon it. Maybe we'd better get back to our work and let this nightmare pass. Hurry up, can't you? I want to get out of this dripping cell. Wait, get those papers. Then we'll find Doc Russell's grave. On stone after stone, the amber lantern licked away the moist black darkness. No, this is not the one either. It must be around here somewhere. Have we looked on the other side of the oak tree? Aye, we should have looked near the haunted oak first, for here it is. But how do we know he's in it? Oops, here she be. Now if we can pry this rusty lid open, we'll see if Doc Russell's is. You open it. I don't want to look in. Is he there? He didn't get. Aye, he's here all right. He's never been out of here. The poor old fool. He dug on the wrong side of the headstone. No wonder he found no one at home. And when he didn't find the coffin, his conscience made him think he was seeing the avenging ghost. But maybe Russell's spirit really did get out. Now rest, you poor tormented soul. Whatever ill you did, your debt should be paid for by now. I'll say amen to that. And so the man who would rid the world of pain and shock is carried off, a sack of crumbling bones. And the glorious discovery of induced slumber allowed him to sleep forever. Let the dead rest with their deeds of evil. We must carry the story to our graves with us. Aye, there's enough evil in the world without letting this story and the formula loose on it.